Are you playing all the right licks but still don't sound like Slash? Well, I reviewed guitarists who sent in their videos for feedback, and the same 3 mistakes kept cropping up that kill that Slash style feel and wrecks their speed and technique. And I've helped over 600 guitarists fix these things in my How to Play Like Slash masterclass. So in this video, I'm going to review 3 players, break down what's going wrong, which might be affecting you as well, and show you how to fix those things so your solos actually start sounding like Slash just stepped into the studio. So this is Hunter. He sent me a clip when I did this last year, and I have to say, between then and now, he's improved massively. So well done. But I did notice something that you could work on. So let's have a look. So you can hear that some of the phrasing sounds a little bit disconnected and doesn't flow naturally, and he loses speed and fluency at times. And that's because he's picking all downstrokes instead of alternate picking. Things start to sound a little bit staccato and choppy when you do that. This is as fast as I can go. But alternate picking. So I'm going to give you a quick exercise that you can do that will help that. I'm going to use the Speed Trainer, which is free in the course. It's a metronome and timer all in one. It increases the tempo automatically, so I don't have to fiddle around with settings. I can just focus on the practice. It's basically hands-free, and it tracks your progress over time as well. But we're just going to take one note. I'm going to play C. Doesn't matter what note you pick. We're going to play this little pattern. Try and keep the notes nice and even. It's so much easier. If I was to play downstrokes, what you find that happens if you try and play fast, all downstrokes, the reason why it sounds disconnected is because your arm tenses up because you're trying to get the speed, and it's just really choppy. I've reached my maximum tempo at that, but with alternate picking, can be so much faster and fluent that way. And just gradually increase the tempo over time. The Speed Trainer is going to do that for you, so I use it all the time. It's great. Now, most of the mistakes people make are so simple to fix, but people brush over these basic things, and this is how they end up with these problems. But once you fix them, your technique and your playing will be so much better. So this next clip is from Levy, playing one of my favorite Slash solos. So let's have a look. So when it goes to that shred section, he's losing all the speed and the flow. And that's because he's using only 2 fingers, not making use of the pinky finger, and sticking to 2 notes per string. Now you can get some speed using 2 fingers and 2 notes per string. But if you use 3, obviously you've got more power. You've got this versus this. I can see that he's used his pinky in other areas of the solo, but I can tell he's not as comfortable using it as the others. So I'm going to show you a quick exercise that's going to help. I'm going to use a similar exercise as before, but I'm going to use the fingers this time, and I'm going to make sure I include my pinky finger. So I'm going to choose 3 notes per string. I'm just going to take this phrase across 1 string. If you want to work on your picking as well, you can pick every note. If you want to work on your legato, you can just pick the first note and then hammer on the rest. I'm just going to pick them for this example. And doing this, is gonna help train your pinky finger and also sync up the two hands, your picking hand and your fretting hand. But what I want you to do is play two variations. So we're gonna play using the first, the middle and the pinky, and then we're gonna also use the first, the ring finger and the pinky as well. Because if you've ever tried to do the Spock thing, like that, your fingers work in different ways together. So we need to train different movements. So now we're going to play another pattern with these fingers instead. Just want to get used to using that pinky finger along with the other ones. Now, Slash doesn't always use his pinky, he'll often use these three fingers, but it depends where he is on neck, so it's definitely worth working on all of this stuff. Now, if you want to increase your speed, I've got plenty more exercises in the How to Play Like Slash course, along with a handy speed trainer to help you increase your speed the right way. There's a link in the description. So let's look at the last video now, and this example is probably the most common thing that I see. He can clearly play guitar, but something sounds off. But there's an easy fix, and Slash is a master at this. The bends and vibrato are slightly out of tune. When it comes to bending, Slash can be slow with his bending, and that's how he gets that bluesy, laid-back feel, but he's still precise. You want to think about bending and vibrato like you're playing archery. Imagine the target, you've got the gold in the middle, then you've got the red ring on the outside of that, and then the blue ring, and so on. When you bend into a note, you want that note to be the gold center of that target. So if we want to bend up to this D note, we need to hit that target perfectly. Imagine the red and the blue rings aren't there. So even if you were gonna hit the red, which might be considered quite good, it doesn't count. An example of that would be this. We're aiming for this note. If we miss it, it's horrible. We want to aim for that gold. Now, all of this is very much about training your ear to hear when you're in tune. But here's an exercise that was going to really help. So you play the note you want to bend up to. So we're going to aim for this D. Then take the fret that you want to bend from, this one. And then without playing it, bend that note up and then pluck it. Heard how I was slightly flat? And over time, you're going to begin to feel where the notes are. So you can kind of like feel when you're there. When we're doing vibrato, you want to have the note as an anchor point every time you pull the string, and make sure that your vibrato returns exactly to the original note. What a lot of people do is they bend slightly and they make that the new center. And it's just not right. It's sharp. What you should be able to hear overall is that D note, but just a little bit of wobble, not wobbliness everywhere. So imagine the D note is our gold center. When we put vibrato on it by bending slightly, we want to return to that gold center every time. So you can bend into the red ring, but always come back to the gold in the center. But the most important thing is just to train your ear. So if you're hitting this note, if you want to hit this note, don't put vibrato on it and make it sharp or flat. you should be able to hear when you're out of tune or not. Even when Slash is lazy with his bending or he does overbends, he's still precise with it, and it sounds like it's in tune because he's very intentional. Now, I said there were 3 things in this video, but there's one more thing that all of these players had in common, amongst other videos that I was sent as well. And that's that they're playing a collection of licks rather than music. And Slash is a master of melody and sprinkles in licks in the right places. So I highly recommend watching this video next, where I show you how Slash chooses the right notes over any chord progression for the perfect melodies every time.